let's go over what we have in nutrients that I use for growing. Now, don't be afraid, there's a lot up here. There's so what I tell you, like this right here is jungle juice. Advanced Nutrients makes this. They have different kinds of nutrients that they do sell, all for the same thing. And I got Jungle Juice was introduced to me right away. It's lower in price than their higher end house brand, and it does absolutely everything you need it to do. You pretty much just need this to do your growing. This is your base nutrients. It's a 3-part system, and people with MS, we get confused pretty easy. It took me a little bit of time to get the understanding of how this works. Now, you have 3 different things. This is grow, this is bloom, this is a micronutrient, which is pretty much replacing anything that soil might have in it, the kind of antibodies. How about, let's call it microbes and stuff like that, micro, right? So, and this is mostly nitrogen. This is some, this is some good stuff. It's magnesium, phosphate, anyways. This system here is all you need. Now we're talking about, I would say about $100 to get this. The idea is that if you're doing for yourself and you're not growing a field of plants and doing that stuff, you're only going to need this, and you'll use it maybe the whole year. Let's just say you are growing 4 plants. All year you'll have this. You might get through 3 harvests using this, and then the next year it's going to last you. You tend to run out with some more than others. Things tend to grow fast in vegetative state if you're doing well, and then bloom you're going to use a lot of. This one is down the middle all the way. I'll show you how to mix these nutrients in another video. On top of that, we have pH down. Now you can get this from any company. This happens to be General Hydroponics. I prefer, I think, Mad Farmer, and pricing is similar. You're talking about $30 on that. And this one is listed. This is CalMag. We pretty much use this religiously, and $46.95 is what it lists. If you ever go into a hydroponics store, they're going to have a tag on there that says $47. Don't freak out. They're going to give you a discount at the register. They always tag stuff, at least out here where I live, with the tags. And then they give you a good deal at the register. Makes you feel good about yourself, I guess. I don't know. And then, yeah. So that's pretty much it. A simple solution. So, 100, we're talking about $200 here. This is going to last you your whole year, almost your whole year, and this will last you maybe 2 years if you do 4 plants. Now, I've used these from the beginning. I've tried other nutrients. I have all kinds of different stuff. I've tried organic. I've tried, earth juice and General Hydroponics, a little bit of Fox Farm, but this works. I know this works. It is somewhat affordable, and as far as what your final results are, you can't go wrong with this. It absolutely does what it needs to do. So, and for us with MS, you want things easy. When I first started, and still my thinking is not right. It's not right. So I'll be in the middle of doing something. If I get distracted, that's it, I'm done. If I'm adding nutrients and I put in 5 milliliters and I walk away, I forget which one I put in. All those things. So pay attention. You got to do those things. We got to do those things. Everybody needs to, but we got to. And so you're gonna make mistakes. Even if you spill it, I used to freak out. Oh God, I wasted this and I spilled this, and you know what you end up getting is so much worth it. I was spending $800 a month between me and my wife for medical grade cannabis, and going broke. It was more than my rent at the time, I think. So, and I was sick and she was hurt, and it was helping. She with her foot, she has CRPS, RSD, and for I would say, I don't know, the first 5 or 6 years, she used the CBD oil, and I mean, this was first generation of that stuff. It worked. It made a huge difference in her life, and there was a point where she couldn't touch her foot at all without screaming. So she could rub it this way, but she couldn't rub it this way without going through the roof. So I mean, just the nerve endings were so crazy, and she put that CBD oil on it, and she could touch it, and she could do those things. We spent a lot of money. And once we did this, like, I mean, it was a learning experience, and we were still spending money. I was using high pressure sodium lamps, and those are very expensive to run. You have to have a lot of fans. It was causing problems with bugs. Like, the bugs love the heat, and we hate the heat, so of course the bugs love the heat, and they just take over your garden and wreck it, and it's hard to control. So over the years, things have gotten better. LED lighting has come out, and it's brought the temperatures down in grow rooms. And if you do have heat problems, we'll talk about that in another video. But definitely, this is all you need. This will get you going, and it lasts a while. Like, it's a one-time purchase that's going to last you for most of the year. Now, as I move these away, you'll see this is the rest of the stuff that I do use, and it doesn't, don't be afraid. Like, I'm just saying, like, I will use all this. Bud Candy and Carbo Load are the same. This is cheaper, made by All Advanced Nutrients. Carbo Load is pretty much sugars that helps your, it's a carbo load, right? Like they said about athletes, blah, blah, blah. You can just put garbage so they could run. Well, Bud Candy is the same thing with some other micronutrients. It's better and just a little bit more expensive than this. This is the better buy. This was the first thing that I added into my nutrient mix, and it made a huge difference. First huge difference. So Carbo Load and Bud Candy make a huge difference. Next thing that goes along with that is Big Bud. It makes a huge difference. I want to say that you're going to get 20% more, maybe 30 if you're really good at what you do in your yield and how much you get in your harvest. If you don't use this, the bud is still going to be just as good. This does add some weight to, bigger buds. It does what it says. And if you don't use it, you get not as much bud, but definitely the same wonderful taste and flavors and stuff like that without using this. So this is kind of pricey. This is almost $100, and but it does do the job. And I will use this if I have, if I'm really running it. About at least this will last me maybe a year and a half. All right, and then Rhino Skin. Well, let's talk about this before that. This is Overdrive. Overdrive is used just in the last few stages of your blooming and flowering cycle. If I have never used this before, this will be my first time, and it's like the only thing that I haven't used in my grows. I gotta say, I never saw there was never a problem with anything that I've grown. It was always awesome. It always tasted good. I take time to flush it, a lot of time, so I know all the nutrients are out of the plant. And but this is supposed to accelerate and give you even heavier buds and more oils and everything. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited to use it. Kind of Rhino Skin. Oh my God. Like, okay, I live in a hot area. Sun is always if you're doing outdoor grows, if the sun is always on your plants, or if you live in areas where it's just, real hot, 100-degree temperatures. If you're in areas where it's real cold, now, plants will freeze up and die. But this is going to help, like in that vague area where it's 36 degrees and even down to like 28 degrees, your plants might survive by using this stuff. Also, kind of an expensive product, but it doesn't have any nutritional value, but it definitely helps you manage your plants. It makes the plants a little rubbery so you can bend them more. And it can handle stresses that, any kind of cutting and stuff. It just makes your plant resilient. All right, and then this is HydroGuard. HydroGuard is for your roots, and it pretty much cleans your roots and helps them to spread. And you'll see, if you do growing or if you have been doing growing, you pull out your plant's roots and they're all brown and nasty. This will keep them white looking and clean and healthy. And it gets rid of bad material so your roots can draw in better nutrients. That's pretty much all it is. It doesn't do anything for the leaves or the buds on your plant, but it's going to help your plant take those nutrients up, so it's awesome and it makes a difference. Unnecessary though. This is my first year using it. I've been for 10 years growing. I definitely just need jungle juice, CalMag, and pH down. And we'll talk about that stuff. Your pH in your water, generally coming out of the tap, it's 7 to 8. And you want it down to like 5.5. And there's an interesting thing that happens when you add nutrients to water. It makes your water acidic, so it drops that number down to about 6.3, 6.3, 6.5. So you add a little bit of pH down to get it down to about 5.5, 5.8. That is the perfect place for your plants to be drinking up nutrients. They'll drink water sometimes, but not drink the nutrients. If your pH is right, it's going to drink everything. It's going to use those nutrients. Once it gets up in the plant, it makes a difference. I think I've heard a lot of people who don't pH their water. I think that's a huge mistake. Huge mistake. So that's it. That's how I do it. And we're going to get to